I'm Jahawi Batoli, eco-filmmaker and wildlife specialist.
And I'm Ella Meek, co-founder of Kids Against Plastic and all-round animal lover.
Welcome to our weekly update on the health of our planet and its animals.
This is The Pulse.
Coming up on today's programme,
We'll be hearing from an award-winning wildlife photojournalist.
we'll be looking into Shell's plan to find more oil and gas in South Africa.
And we'll take a look into some of the more unusual eco-news stories.
Hey Ella, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Very excited for Christmas. Just got to get all of the jobs done first. But actually, I was thinking, what is Christmas like in Kenya for you?
Well, you know, it's actually quite funny because we do have Christmas trees and fake snow. And I mean, here on the beach, people do make snowmen out of sand, but it's the middle of summer and it's hot.
Yeah, that is weird to think you're having a hot Christmas while we're having a freezing cold one.
True. So Ella, what's caught your eye in the news this week?
Well, in London, the nominees for the People's Choice Awards for this year's Wildlife Photographer of the Year competition have been announced. There were so many amazing entrants from all over the world.
Yeah, there's some stunning photography. I particularly like Thomas Peschak's really charming picture of a meerkat just posing for him in the camera.
Yeah, my favourite has to be of a grey kangaroo in the middle of all of the destruction after the Australian wildfires. It was taken by Joanne MacArthur, who's been a wildlife photojournalist for the past 20 years, and I got to speak to her earlier. Hi Joanne, thanks for joining me today.
Hi, Ella. It's great to be here.
So, where were you when the Australian wildfires erupted? And what made you want to travel over there and document them?
We were hearing a lot about the environmental and the humanitarian crisis, but a lot less about the animals. And in fact, over 3 billion animals were either killed or displaced during that time. And so I got on a plane from my home here in Toronto and went and spent 2 weeks driving thousands of kilometers with an NGO called Animals Australia, documenting the effects of the fires on the animals.
Tell us how you went about capturing this photo.
One day I was with a group who were doing koala rescues. They were dehydrated and burned koalas up in the eucalyptus trees. And amidst the trees were kangaroos, dead and alive. And here was one living kangaroo with a joey in her pouch. And I crouched down and I got that picture and she hopped away. And I think it's such a meaningful photo to people because it shows the desolation. She's in her burned home, but it also is a story of hope because she's a survivor and her joey in her pouch is a survivor as well.
You've documented many cases of animals suffering as a result of the mistreatment by humans. Do you think the wildfires in Australia were a natural disaster or a consequence of human action?
We're seeing a lot more natural disasters now that the climate is shifting. We know that the climate is shifting in part because of how we treat the planet, how we use resources. So, if we want to curb these floods and these fires, we need to curb our resource use. And we probably need to reduce our animal consumption as well, because we know that that contributes to climate change.
Ella, check this out.
I can't quite tell what's going on here. Wait, hang on, is that a rhino?
Yes, it is.
So what's it doing upside down?
Now, it may look peculiar, but in a recent study, it's shown that when tranquilized, rhinos breathe much better upside down.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, and as you know, both black and white rhino are endangered, so being able to move them safely to secure locations is vital.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Ella, on a more serious note, the South African government has granted Shell permission to undertake a seismic blasting survey of South Africa's coastal seabed.
I've heard of seismic blasting before. It's when high-powered, super loud air guns are shot at the seabed, and the echoes are then measured to help map where offshore oil and gas reserves could be.
Exactly. And South African people have been protesting against it, especially because environmentalists have said that this disturbs, injures, and can even kill marine wildlife. Recently, hundreds of people gathered in Cape Town to voice their concern.
I just feel really strongly about what's going on at the Wild Coast. I've got quite a personal relationship with the Wild Coast. I think the pursuit of oil in general is just in favor of profits, and I think it's absolutely disgusting. And I know that I won't rest well if I know that I haven't done something to try and fight against seismic surveys in the Wild Coast.
The social impact and the sustainability implications of allowing shell to do what they are doing in our oceans are huge, and the ripple effect impacts so many communities and peoples, and not just for the next few years, for many years to come. And it's just irresponsible of our leaders to agree shall to come and do it here when the rest of the world is saying no to them. Why are we saying yes?
A little earlier, I spoke to Lucille Chapuis, who is a sensory ecologist studying the effects of sound on aquatic organisms. Hi, Lucille. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, Jahari. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
So, can you please first explain to me the importance of sound on marine ecosystems?
Yeah, so it's nowhere different from animals on land, really. Marine organisms will use sound every day to find mates, for social interactions and for reproduction, to navigate as well, to detect predators. And a lot of organisms in the water actually produce sounds themselves to communicate. So not only dolphins and whales, but fishes and invertebrates can produce a whole array of different sounds.
And how does sound penetrate wildlife underwater?
Yes, so the speed of sound in water is about 5 times higher than in air. So the sound doesn't only travel faster, but it also travels much further. And so aquatic animals like fishes have evolved ears which detect the vibrations produced by sound on the water.
Interesting. So, as we understand it, the survey will produce a constant sound, the equivalent of 230 decibels. Now, to put that into context, 180 decibels can cause irreversible damage to the human ear. So, what effect will this survey have on South Africa's marine life?
We know that sounds produced by seismic surveys have the potential to cause injury, hearing loss, behavioral changes. However, data on the effect of air guns are still limited because it's a difficult thing to study, especially on wild animals.
Thanks, Lucille, for chatting with me today.
Well, Jahawi, have you ever seen anything like this? It's the moment when a bull elephant in southern Thailand bashes its way through someone's kitchen.
I've never seen anything like that before.
The homeowners actually were woken up to the elephant trunk pulling down their wall.
That must have been scary. It looks like he was just after some food.
Yeah, it seems he was. They said that he took some instant noodles and rice, and he even came back a few days later in search of more food.
Well, that's one hungry Ellie. So Ella, I've come across this company that has invented a sustainable glitter made from fruit.
Oh, that's such a cool idea, because glitter's made from plastic, which isn't easy to recycle, and glitter gets absolutely everywhere, so that's just tiny pieces of plastic blowing around.
That's exactly it. Conventional glitter contains harmful microplastics that pollute the environment and take about 2 weeks to come out of my hair. So this sustainable biodegradable alternative is a really good way to add some sparkle to your Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. And another way to make your Christmas more sustainable is these reusable Christmas trees.
They look just like normal trees.
I guess they kind of are. The only difference is that when you're finished using them after Christmas, you can return them back to the farm that grows the trees, and they'll replant it so you can use it the next year.
Well, if it's reusable trees you're after, how about this balloon Christmas tree?
Oh, I can't say I'm a massive fan of that one. So that's about it for this week.
We'll see you in the new year. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.